Hello, my name is Susan Helene, and I am the author of Womenscape, selected stories of eclectic women published by Unsolicited Press and available wherever books are sold. I'd like to extend an invitation to my neighbors in the Camarillo, Ventura County area. I will be doing a reading and book signing February 11th at 1 p.m. at the Bookworm at 93 Daly Drive in Camarillo. There will be a limited number of books there for me to sign, so if you want to be assured that you have a copy, please order it now by calling the Bookworm at 805-482-1384. This is a pre-Valentine's Day reading, so I will be reading one of the more romantic stories from my book, and there will be chocolate. So please join me at the Bookworm February 11th at 1 o'clock. And if you are looking for a gift for that special woman in your life for Valentine's Day, may I suggest a good read? And with Mother's Day just down the road, what better way to say I love you than giving her 12 lovely stories of women that are enjoyable and relatable? Well, is Womenscape only enjoyed by women? Apparently not, according to the men in my workshop for writers here in Leisure Village, and to at least one male reader who has taken the time to respond with a nice review online. With that in mind, today I'm going to highlight one of the male protagonists in this book. So important is he that his name is part of the title. So welcome to the first part of Samson and Delilah. Meredith Crawford pulled the zipper up on her pale blue Patagonian sweatshirt and examined herself in the mirror. She gave a nod of approval. At 82, she was still trim with a full head of bottle blonde hair and, due to a recent facelift, her third, had no wrinkles in residence. She applied a subtle mauve lipstick. The reflection was satisfactory. Time for her and Samson's daily constitutional. Samson was, by all impartial observers, the most mismatched and ugly dog that ever walked the earth. How different from the cute pup she rescued from a box of puppies offered by a little boy on Halstead Road. He was a mutt of unknown origins. It appeared that a brindle boxer head had been plopped onto the body of a dark brown dachshund. A rim of white fur even separated the two parts. His tail was short and skinny and way too long for his height. The short snout and even shorter legs on his long torso did not dampen his enthusiasm for the outing. He could barely sit still to let Meredith attach the leash. He pulled with impatience as she locked the front door and pocketed the key. She stooped to pick up the newspaper and tossed it onto the porch swing. There was time to read the obituaries later. Hordes of teenagers trudged past to the high school, backpacks bouncing on hunched shoulders. She cringed inwardly at the purposely torn jeans, mismatched dyed hair, and rambunctious goings-on. They obviously had not had the elegant training of cotillion. She turned up the road and headed toward the trail. The trail was a soft dirt path that wound upward at a gentle slope and around a bend to an overlook. Each morning, Meredith would sit on the lone wooden bench and meditate. Samson, being too short to accomplish the jump onto the bench, contented himself with slipping underneath and pressing his warm body against her legs. It was fall in California. The morning sun was bright, the slight chill in the air invigorating. A few trees dropped their leaves, but the colorful oranges, reds, and yellows of her childhood home in Stamford, Connecticut were noticeably absent. It was the only thing she missed about the change in seasons. She continued up the hill toward the bench. Samson fell slightly behind as his little legs struggled to keep up with her fast pace. She turned the corner and stopped. This was so wrong. The bench, her bench, was occupied by the largest man she had ever encountered. Rolls of neck fat cascaded below his ring of wispy hair. The slats in the bench sagged under the weight concentrated in the large swelling of the man's stomach, which extended outward almost to his knees. Sitting next to him on the ground, head resting on his shoulder and staring directly at her, was a large Great Dane. Anger and disappointment raged up inside her. Samson reacted to this tableau with much enthusiasm. His piercing bark alerted the man to their presence. He turned and smiled. His face looked as if it had been planted onto a bigger head. Where the inner face ended, a roll of fat encircled from his bald head to below his chin. His features seemed abnormally small and grouped too close together. Everything seemed out of proportion. Meredith suppressed a gasp. A massive hand, which previously had been resting along the top of the beleaguered bench, waved and motioned her to join him. She hoped her dismissive wave would be perceived as a friendly, no thank you. It was at that moment that Samson decided to live up to his namesake. With supernatural strength, he wrenched the leash from her hand and ran toward the bench with his belly bouncing off the ground. In horror, Meredith watched as the giant dog lunged toward him. The man, seeing her expression, gave a reassuring flick of his wrist. Not to worry, Delilah's friendly. Meredith had heard that before. This dog could easily fit Samson's whole head in her massive jaw. She shuddered. A biblical end for Samson, rendered headless by a dog named Delilah. Delilah collapsed down on her belly and slid her head between her paws in a submissive gesture. Samson skidded to a halt in front of her and sniffed her snout. Plopping on his stomach, he proceeded to stick his pencil-thin tongue in Delilah's ear. Meredith was disgusted. Samson, cut that out. Samson was apparently too grossly absorbed and continued licking. Delilah's eyes closed reminded Meredith of the expression on the faces of the women receiving massages at the local masseuse salon. Have a seat. Looks like you're going to be here a while longer. Meredith glanced at the man. Where exactly was she supposed to sit? His massive girth left little space for company. The man seemed to read her thoughts. They call me a two-seater on the airplane, make me pay for the extra seat. I can make room for you, though, you being so trim. Come on over and sit a piece. It's a lovely view. He moved over and patted the bench. The wooden slats creaked and sagged. Rolls of fat protruded through the space between the wrought iron arm and the seat. Feeling trapped, Meredith complied. She squeezed next to him. Her hips sunk into a soft cushion of fat. As his massive leg pressed against hers, she had not been this close to another human being, ever. Well, looks like Meredith is having a new experience, and she is not enjoying it. Will this be a lasting friendship or a moment of horror for Meredith and the man on the bench? Thank you for listening and joining me today. Again, please, if you can, join me at the Bookworm on February 11th at 1 o'clock here in Camarillo. Again, stay safe and be well. Thank you.